Welcome, 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 welcome. Good morning, everybody. We are going to start our webinar right now. Let me hide the video panel. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I have some announcements for you as we get started. You can sign in if you're watching this live. So if you're watching it live, you can sign in and get a certificate. If you're watching it on YouTube or anywhere else, welcome. You just can't get a certificate. But I am Desiree Alexander. You can tweet at me at Educator Alexander. You can also sign up at my for my newsletter. I'm Desiree Alexander. This is all the different ways you can contact me. Yay! I am the founder CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting. And I know a lot of you are with me every weekend, seems like now. But there you go. That's who I am. Contact me if you need help. So we do have some awesome upcoming webinars, just like the one that you're in today. We have Tech You Can Do, Intro to Google Apps. I mean, this is, just guys, you usually have to pay buku money for this, right? But for 2 hours on all of these dates that you can see, Sarah is going to, I don't know why I said her name that way. Sarah is going to go through some amazing Google Apps for us one day at a time. So the first one is Sheets and Docs that are coming up next week. So definitely check that out. I mean, it's completely free. That's awesome. And then we have college access for all English learners, evaluating foreign transcripts for secondary counselors. That's going to be again next week on Wednesday. So we have one on Tuesday. We have one on Wednesday. We have one on Thursday. And then we have one again on Saturday next week. And that is all about learning sign language. I mean, so how awesome is that? I think I'm hearing a little feedback, but how awesome is that you can learn ASL for free? So get started learning your sign language. I know that's been a dream for a lot of people to learn how to sign. And then we have classroom management with this girl that I hear is amazing. But yeah, it's me. So I'm going to be teaching classroom management. Is backed by popular demand from last summer. And then we're going to talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in library communities with the amazing media singer mavens. And then we're going to talk about misinformation. Oh, we need that class, right? In the information age on Saturday, August 8th. You can sign up for all of these at the website at the bottom at alex.net/events. We have a template one. We have a summer camp. I'm not doing the summer camp, but Kids Academy is offering a free summer camp for your pre-K through third grade students. And it's free for all educators because they give you a 60-day free trial. And in that 60-day free trial will be the summer camp. So yay. And parents can actually do this too and pay $20 for it. We have the Rethink Learning Summit by the amazing Nicole. It is a paid conference, but you may want to check that out. Again, it's on my website. We have BER sessions about distance learning, strengthening your online learning. We also have one coming up for ELA teachers specifically, and that's going to be on my website later today. And we have Ed Change Global coming up, the free 24-hour conference since 2015. We have so many amazing, we have like 60, 70, 80, I can't even remember sessions, y'all. So check that out, completely free. Register at the website. And for the summer camp, that'll be on my website later today as well. And then I am going to be speaking at the Indiana Connected Educators Conference, which is completely free. Same place to sign up. We will have an evaluation at the end of this, guys, because it's free, right? And he is spending his time with us for free to teach us Autocrat. And I say us, I mean us. I need to learn Autocrat too. So we will have an evaluation at the end. I will put the link at the end, I promise. And there you go. So I'm going to stop yapping my mouth, right? I know y'all are here to see Luis. I know you are, because I'm here to see Luis too. So he is going to go ahead and share his screen. And we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. So I am going to post the sign-in sheet again in the chat. Let me press enter. That's the only way that happens. And you know what? I'm going to shut my mouth because I'm excited.
So, hello everyone. How are you all doing? My name is Luis Pertuz. I am originally from Barranquilla, Colombia. Well, I'm not originally from Barranquilla, Colombia, but I am Colombian. I was born here, just moved here an age ago. So I consider myself from Barranquilla, Colombia. I am a Google certified everything. That is, I'm a Google certified educator, trainer, and innovator. Dee was one of my awesome coaches at New York City. So I know her and I love her, even though she didn't have any of the candies I took over, which I don't know why. I'm still suspicious. And I know it's Colombian, and I know there's this whole stigma about, the stuff that we take to the States, but I'm not one of those people, so it's not a problem. Before I start, I really want to be really, really honest to all of you guys. If I am starting to go too fast, which is the thing that I do, please, I have the chat up in here somewhere, so I can try and like keep up. But I know Desiree is going to be very on top of things, and she's going to interrupt me if she needs to, so don't be afraid. I don't really mind. I'm a teacher after all, so I'm used to being interrupted. And of course, I know, like everybody else knows over here, that it's always different to teach to adults than it is to teach to kids. So I'm hoping we're going to have a lot of fun. So before we start, I'd love to give you guys a little warning. I am a spreadsheet maven. I really love spreadsheets, and the answer is always, always, always a spreadsheet. So it's one of these things I want everybody to be clear on. Another thing that I need to really clear up is, please, what we're going to be talking about today isn't terribly complicated, but it does require that some of you guys are relatively easygoing and don't stress out over formulas and working with Google Sheets. That I know it's daunting for some people. Some people are really afraid of Google Sheets. And I'm expecting, I'm going to go slow if at all possible. I'm going to try and be patient and very slow, especially in the stuff that has to do with Sheets, because Sheets is iffy and it might be a little hard to see. I'm trying to make everything as big as I can, but please bear with me. So just don't be afraid of the formulas. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to have a good time. Also, so this is the problem that we face when we're using Google Suite. Google Docs is awesome. Google Slides is like the best tool ever. It's the Swiss Army knife of Google tools. And Google Sheets is also very good. But they have a very, very big problem, which is something that people, every time that I discuss Google Suite with people, the first thing they come up with is, but you can't do mail merges. And all the people who tell me, but you can't do mail merges, I always ask them the same thing. How many times do you actually do mail merging? So does it really, 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 is it really, really important? So most of the time, people just desist, but some of the times we do come up with certain use cases that mail mergers are really super useful, and it would be really, really nice to be able to use. So for mail merges, there's lots of solutions, but the one that I like and the one that we're going to talk about today is Autocrat, and there's the website, but you can find it really easily on Sheets, and I'll show you how in a second. But it lets you create mail merges, and the best part of it is the part that we educators and our schools, and especially our districts, for those of you who work in districts, love the most. It's free, which is a good thing, because people, we educators, we love free stuff, and we try and use it and promote it as much as possible. So yeah. So it is time for a demo. So to start with the demo, first, I'm going to try and get you guys familiar with how it is that we're working. So I am assuming that we are familiar with making forms in Google Sheets. So at the end of the presentation, I'll share a link with you guys where you can access a folder where all of the files that I'm messing around with, like the presentation and everything else, are in. So you can watch it later and you can play around with it later if you make your own copies. So I don't have that issue, but for now, just please bear with me. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do today is we're going to work on how to make a form that picks up information, and in particular a photograph. And that information will be put into a spreadsheet, and the person will get, at the end of the exercise, they'll get a certificate with the picture in it, which is what I call a caught being good certificate. And the idea is for people to fill out this form, which is basically what's your email. And I'm supposing we're in a school, so we're doing high school, elementary, and preschool. You could pare this down as much as you want. And then we'll talk about who was caught doing what. what they were doing, and then we'll add a picture. And this I'll do from my phone in a sec, but first it's just so you guys get an idea. For those of you who want to see how the sausage is made, this is the Google form and on the other side. So this is a normal Google form. There's nothing really mysterious about it. All I'm asking is I'm asking for email, I'm asking for a section, I'm asking for a name, and the name is going to be the person who actually does the, the person that was caught doing whatever it is that they were caught doing. And then what it is that they were doing, because we're going to want a description, and the picture that I'm going to add eventually. Okay. Now, in Sheets, when you do a form, this is what my Google Drive looks like at the moment. So as you see, first and more importantly, just in case, it is in list view, because list view is always better than grid view, in my opinion. But that's a whole debate that we can get into. And then this is going to be the folder where all the pictures that are uploaded will be there. The certificates, I already pre-created it. There's nothing in there at the moment because there are no certificates. We're going to do them for the first time for this form on the fly. And so the certificates are going to land there. This is the template for the certificate. I'm going to show it to you in a little second. This is the form. And this is the response sheet, which I'm going to show you in a few seconds. And this is the presentation that's running on this tab. So, you'll have access to it and you'll be able to do whatever you want with it and adapt it for your own purposes. And there's like sneak stuff after this slide, so don't worry about it. Okay. This sheet where all the answers land. And then I'm going to show you how to make this work. But for now, just trust me. And this is the certificate that it's being generated each time we take a picture. So I'm supposing that this is a certificate for the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And since Bonnie's in the chat, Bonnie will find out why we're doing Hogwarts, because this is like a preview of stuff that we're going to do later on. But it's a little event that we're planning. And this basically is this certificate is basically, it says you're copying good. And this is the title. Back there you see Hogwarts, and then there's the name of the person who was copying good. These are the reasons. This is the image that you upload, and then the principal is, and the date. Now, all of these names and stuff that you see between brackets, let's zoom on in. Okay, so every time you see something between brackets, it's like a mail merge. So when you're going to do something in brackets, it means that it's going to be replaced by something from the spreadsheet. So I'm already planning ahead as to what stuff I want on the spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out this spreadsheet. In the merge, these things are going to be pulled out of the spreadsheet and put into this image and put into this slide deck. And each person is going to get a PDF of the slide deck. And I know this might sound daunting and mysterious, especially if you've never used Autocrat, but Autocrat is awesome at doing this because it'll do it for you, and you have to do basically, all you have to do is prepare well, but after you've done everything, it works like a charm. So let's do a little housekeeping before we start messing around with with generating certificates. Okay, so first thing, this is what's going to happen when things start arriving at the spreadsheet. Google Sheets and Forms are actually they're like Siamese twins. They can't live one without the other. And even though when you create a spreadsheet, you can create a spreadsheet and not have, even though you create a form, you can have a form without associating a spreadsheet to it. Behind the scenes in real life, all forms are secretly spreadsheets. So, and here, when you have a form, you'll see this little form menu, and it'll let you go edit the live form and just have it work with whatever it is that you're doing. But know that all forms are a spreadsheet. Now, this thing comes up a lot of the time. And for example, and the best proof of forms being part of something else is that if you go to the waffle, forms is not here. Well, now it is here, of course, because now that I'm trying to show you guys, it appears. But before, forms wasn't there, and only Sheets was there. And this is how this always happens, especially in presentations, just to make me look bad. This is what Bonnie will call the Colombian rage, right, Bonnie? So there. In any case, If you don't know how to get to forms, let's do this like quick and dirty. But if you've never been in forms, you click on forms, it'll show you a bunch of templates, and there's lots of stuff you can do with forms, but that is, I'm sorry, beyond the scope of what we're doing right now, because we're doing something really specialized, and these are some of the templates you can do with forms, and you can do wonderful, wonderful things with forms. But in Sarah's lecture that she's doing next week, you will see it, and you'll have a lot of fun, because Sarah's awesome, and forms are awesome too. So, okay. So we can see this is my form, and in the form I'm asking for the person's email, so I know who to send the email to. And then I'm asking for the section, supposing Harvard says preschool, high school, elementary, and that's just because I like to be fancy with my formulas. And we could do it, if in a real school, we could do it with like real school. I'm asking for who was caught and what was that they were doing and the picture. Now, if you go to the spreadsheet, you'll notice that everything I'm asking is in the spreadsheet. So it asks for, there's a column timestamp, which is when we got in. There's a section column. There's a who was caught column. What were they doing? Did you take a picture? And what is your email? Now, what is your email is here because when I did this form, I put an email at the end. So please bear with me. And did you take a picture? I'm doing some cheating here, so don't worry about it. I'm going to explain why later. But when you submit a form and you submit a file, the file URL will wind up in that column. And then, but that URL we can't use, so then we need to do a little cheating. And the little cheating is doing some sheets, jiggery-pokery, and I'm going to have to do some replacing of text, just so you know. So don't worry about it yet. You'll just see how it works. But I'm going to show you how it works in a second. And then did you take a picture? The principal, and now the principal, all the principal is I'm assuming that Albus Dumbledore is the principal in elementary, Minerva Gonagal is the principal in high school, and Severus Snape is the principal in preschool. Because, of course, Snape has to be the principal in preschool because he's mean. So I'm doing it this way, and there's like a formula up here, which you can see how it's going to, from here where it says section, it's going to, if it sees preschool, it's going to replace preschool. It's going to place Severus Snape here. And if it sees elementary, it's going to be Dumbledore. And if it sees high school, it's going to be McGonagall. Date, all it is I am taking the date from the timestamp and I am making it into normal, reasonable dates. You'll see why when I submit the first form. And then uploaded. This is a cheat that I have to do, and that cheat I'll explain as soon as I submit the first example. So, to submit the first example, first I'm going to do something that presenters should never, ever, ever, ever do. So, please watch so you know what not to do. You pull out your cell phone, and then you switch on the selfie camera. And after you switch on the selfie camera, I'm going to turn around just so that we're all in the shot. So that's you, me, and everybody else. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out the form that I have the form address that I gave to myself. And I'm going to fill out the form. And within that form, I am going to submit it for the first time so we all see what's going on when I submit the form. When the form helps me. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to say that I'm going to give it my email just so I can get the form back. And it's not going to work yet because Autocrat isn't running, so please be patient. And then I'm going to suppose that I'm in high school. No, I like Dumbledore, so I'm going to do. So I'm going to say that I was caught, Luis, and I was diligently conducting a webinar. On Autocrat. Okay, and I'm going to add the picture that I just took. So I'm going to upload the picture that I just took. It actually told me I could take the picture straight from forms. I didn't know I could do that, which is so much fun. Okay, so this is happening. Okay, now while the pictures and stuff uploads, I don't know if you guys knew that you could upload pictures to forms. or anything else. And then just so you guys know, it's a file upload form. It's a file upload option. And in the file upload option, they will, oh, come on. There you go. Damn it. Okay, in the file upload option, it'll let you specify exactly what type of form, what type of image you want. So, or what type of file you want, and it'll also give you a limit as to how big that file can be. So imagine you could upload stuff up to like 10 gigs, which is insane. But I'll do 100 megs because I've seen pictures and how people take pictures, and sometimes it goes crazy. And of course, right now, my phone just died. Oh, God. Okay. Let's go again. On Autocrat. Okay. And jeez. This always happens. Okay. So I have to get off my Wi-Fi to send this stuff to me because, of course, the internet's being funny exactly when I need it. Okay. So this is something, so you guys know, you can specify uploads anytime, so it's not a problem. Did I create a sheet on your own? It was created through the form. Every time you create a form, when you go back here to responses, there's this little beautiful button, this beautiful green button, and if you notice, right underneath that little button, it says view responses in sheets. And when you click on it, like right now, if I click on it, it just takes me to the sheet. But if you do it for the first time ever, it'll ask you if you want it to create its own sheet, or if you want it to address it to put that form response in another sheet that's already created. So if you're going to do like a one-off form just for one thing, I would recommend you do it by itself. But like me, or if you were doing like lots of surveys or lots of different types of surveys, but they're all for the same thing, I usually tend to stick them all into one same spreadsheet. And when they come into one same spreadsheet, what winds up happening is you have different tabs under here. So you see here where it says form responses 1. That's for the first form. And then if you link other forms to it, it would be form responses 2, form responses 3. What I usually recommend to people when they're doing this sort of craziness is to please, oh God, this thing is taking forever, is to please you can rename these, and if you rename it, it doesn't change anything at all, so I can rename it for whatever you want. And once I rename it, I wouldn't have any trouble with, like, for example, this is a caught being good certificate, and nothing will happen. If you change it, it's not going to affect the way the form works, because internally, the name of this tab for Google internally is like a number or a weird code, so it doesn't really matter whatever you call it. So don't stress about it. What else? So, of course, right now my computer is being a pain in the butt. And no, not my computer, my phone. And it's uploading very, 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 very slowly. What I am going to do is, since I am friends with the beautiful Bonnie Schlepp, I am going to send her the form so she can also, and of course, for some reason, oh, I'm going to send it to Bonnie at bluebird.org. So yeah, Bonnie, please, I'm going to ask you to fill out the form because my phone is misbehaving. That's what I was going to do, but the thing is, I don't want you, I'm going to send it, I'm going to give you guys a link to the form afterwards because I want you to get the certificate back. Right now, I just want it so you guys can see what it looks like when the data gets there. Because there is some massaging that has to go, finally. Okay, so I finally was able to press submit, and look, here it is. The form finally appeared. So right now, I just signed it. It appears down here because I was goofing off with it and I was testing it before. just to get everything to work because, you know, you have to practice. So right here, look, so I selected elementary. I said that I was caught myself, and I was conducting an awesome webinar on Autocrat. And this is the link to the picture I took. So if I click here, the picture should load, and we should see this beautiful, awesome picture that took 3 ages to load. There you go. So now, and this is my email, which I'm going to send. And I can erase this column because this column is just bugging me. Okay, and now the principal is Albus Dumbledore because he's the elementary principal. Now how I did this is, hey, there you go. Oh, okay, we'll see Tiger's picture later. Okay, so, and this is, and for some reason the date got killed. Let's do the format. I'm going to change the format into a number, and that's going to be September 26th. Okay, there you go, June 20th, because it looks a lot better if I do June 20th instead of 6/20, whatever. Okay, now, here comes the cheating part. Okay, of course, because I changed this. Okay, now, this is super, super, super important because this, when I'm going to do this for Autocrat, this link, which is that thing, this link is very beautiful for a reference within my drive, but this link doesn't work for Autocrat to do its thing. So what I have to do is I have to reference a link that will become a exported file. Bear with me, it sounds weird, I know, but what I'm doing is I'm going to show you. This is the cheat. What I am doing is I'm replacing the beginning of the file, and I am using a reg extract. It's a regular expressions extract. I'm using it to extract an ID number, and the ID number in all Google files, in ID number is the weird number, which is the real reference for a file that you have. So if you can see, this ID number is the ID number for this presentation. So what I'm doing within the form is using regular expressions and using regular expressions to transform this upload thing into a exported. You can see that inside the URL it says export, and that export addition will let me put this picture inside the Autocrat, inside the slide deck, because what Autocrat is going to do, it's going to take here where it says image, and I'm going to specify that that image is an image, and please take that URL that's in the spreadsheet and make it into an image file and let it know that it's an image file. And that's what I'm going to do right now, so please don't stress. Okay, so let's just see Tyler's picture, because I'm dying to see Tyler's picture, because she must be doing a weird face because that's what she does. If it loads. Ah, no. Okay. I was expecting your daughter. Okay. So let's do the whole Autocrat thing. Now, for those of you who don't know how to get Autocrat, when it says here on the file menu, there's an add-on, and then you go for get add-ons, and then of course you search for the best add-on ever, which is Autocrat. It normally is up there because lots of people use it, but if you don't, you can search for it and it will be there. And then all you have to do is click install, and it'll install it within your spreadsheet. Now, I already have it installed, so all I have to do is invoke it. And then I go add-ons, and then open, and then I have to wait while it does its jiggery pokery and its magic. And then this is what a blank Autocrat job is going to look like. So the first thing I have to do is I have to tell it that we're going to do this was supposed to be erased. So let's erase it just so we do it again. Delete. Okay. So I'm going to start with a new job. We can do it later, Gordo. I'm doing something. You can't play Nintendo here right now. Okay? Love you. Okay. So I'm going to call this being good. And then I'm going to choose a template. So I'm going to choose a template from Drive. And since I was messing around with the template recently, it should pop up right here as some of the recent one of the recent. Of course, it isn't, because of course. So I'm going to go look for caught, and then caught being good certificate. Okay. So now what it's going to do, it's going to load, it's going to preload the certificate, and then it's going to look for all these. Remember that I showed you that I had these things between the greater than and less than signs? It's going to look for all those that are in here, and it's going to see name, reasons, image, principal, and date. And it's going to, now it's going to ask me what it's going to do with those. So it's going to ask me to relate from the tab. It's going to ask me to relate which one of these belongs to what. So first, the first one it's asking me is for image. So I'm going to map it to the column where it says uploaded, which is the one that has a weird formula. And very importantly, I have to specify that this is an image. So this way, Autocrat knows that it's doing the correct thing, okay? And that it's going to replace it as an image and not as text, because or else it would just plop in the HTTP colon, whatever it is. So that's how it works. Now, then here, name, I'm going to ask for it to who was caught, and then reasons, and then what were they doing, and then the principal is going to match not to the principal because, oh yeah, the principal is going to match the principal because it's already named, and the date is going to match to date, not to the timestamp. Okay, so this is because I had already previously planned this out. So, and the titles in the columns all have those names. Okay, so file settings. This file setting is for the file that's going to get sent to every person. So right now, I'm going to do is, and I can't say name here because this isn't what is in there. I have to use the same titles that are in the spreadsheet. So to do that, there's this really fun thing that you have all the headers inside this little flyout, so you can be a little lazy. So you can do who was caught, and then right now that's copied. So all I have to do is paste, and then I'm going to do that name, and this is this caught being good certificate. Okay, and then this is how I'm going to do it to be sent to people. So I don't really want to send people Google Slides. I prefer sending people PDFs so they can print them out or so they can not modify it. Not that I mistrust any of you and this very supremely important PDF file, but you know, kids, so that's what happens. And then I'm going to choose which folder I'm going to put it in. I'm not going to put it in the same folder with everything else because then I'm going to be inundated by certificates, in theory, if you guys are also kind to make your own certificates. So I'm going to put it in the certificates folder that I created. I'm going to get rid of this one. Yeah. And then dynamic folder references, I'm not going to get into it, but if I wanted to put all the high school ones in one folder and all the elementary school ones in one folder and all the preschool ones in one folder, there's a way of having it know which one goes where, but that would have to be within the spreadsheet. So there had to be another column with the file ID of each individual folder. So if you go to Drive, and you go up here where it says Drive folders, and then there's a weird code. This is the code that would be to address whichever folder you want to do within Autocrat. And it's weird, but it works wonderfully when it works. But then you have to, you know, bear in mind how all this stuff works. Merge condition. This is if you wanted to merge only if it's like only elementary school students get it or only high school students get it, then you can do like some options here. But I want everybody to submit one that submits one to get one. So I'm going to skip over this. Share docs and send emails, of course. So I want to send these as a PDF, and then I want to email them to the people. So here I ask for people's email. So here, what is your email? So right here in the to, I'm going to use the tag for the email, and then here I'm going to use the people's name. So I'm going to fill it out. This is your certificate. Okay. And then I can type out a message. Thank you for filling out the form, comma, this is your certificate. Now, the really cool thing about this is this is an excellent excuse to do a form to get feedback from the people who attend your lectures or to attend your webinars or whatever. And then you have, not only do you give them a certificate in exchange, but you also have their email, and you can also ask them for like feedback on what you did and how you did it. So you're collecting feedback, which is good for you, and you're also collecting their emails if you want to follow up or whatever, which is always a nice thing. Now, remove job triggers. Now, run on form trigger. This is exactly what I want right now, because I want every time somebody submits it, I want them to get a form. I want them to get the certificate in exchange. So I'm going to say yes here, and then I'm going to enable the triggers. Yes. So triggers have been enabled. So now, in theory, don't do it yet, Bonnie. If Bonnie submits another form, she's going to get the certificate back. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. So the way to test it is to, let's let it save. And then I can run this. Copy, good. If I run it, then Autocrat's going to start doing its thing. And it's going to try, very bravely, to run the certificates. So let us be patient. Okay, so that should be it. And if I go over here to my certificates, there you go. We get a beautiful certificate of me in a picture saying exactly that the certificate was awarded to me because I was conducting an awesome webinar on Autocrat, and it was signed by August Dumbledore because, of course, he's the principal. Now, if you mess around with images and formulas and stuff, you could also, if you had Dumbledore's email address, if you had Dumbledore's signature, you could also make it so that the signature would be the, so you could actually import the signature image onto the slide deck, which would be awesome. But that honestly is a bit much right now to do something like really quick in a half-hour seminar. So, and it's going on to 14 minutes.
They have a quick question. Was the certificate background pre-designed?
I pre-designed everything, and the certificate background, I did it. Let me go a little further out so you can see it better. I honestly did this from scratch. This is WordArt, and this is not even WordArt. These are two different text boxes. The picture I got off of search within Slides, so I just inserted an image, and I went and searched on the web, and look, it's still here. I searched for Hogwarts, and I chose this image. I inserted it, and I faded it out a little bit so it wouldn't be that obvious. And this is all composed. All these are squares, one on top of the other. There's a little, what is it? There's a little, English is my second language, so sometimes I miss on this stuff. This is a drop shadow. Oh God, I forgot the drop shadow. This has little drop shadows just so it looks a little more fleshed out. So it's like really easy. So.
One more question. Can we use this for invoices?
You could, but it's gonna be really complicated for invoices because you can retool it and you can do it as a doc instead of a slide sheet. You can do it as a doc instead of a slide deck because docs are a little more friendly for that sort of thing. And as long as whatever it is, notice that it replaced the text on whatever it is on the same type of font and color that I already had chosen. So you could do even the consecutive numbers as long as you know what the consecutive numbers are going to be. You could do consecutive numbers on an invoice. So you could have like a 001 in nice and colorful red or whatever color you choose. So yes, you can. You just have to structure it out. You have to plan it out way ahead of time so that you know how it works. But it's not that hard. All the really important bits is plan out your document that you're going to produce at the end. And once you have that really well thought out and what information you need to put in where, all you have to do is figure out the spreadsheet that's going to feed it, or the form that's going to make the spreadsheet that's going to feed whatever it is. So you could do invoices, you can do certificates. I use it at school. I just got over this because it's our last week of school next week, so we've been doing teacher evaluations. So my school in Colombia, schools work differently than in the States, and we attend everything from nursery all the way to 12th grade. So we have 3 sections, and each section head has to evaluate their teachers on a grading rubric and a scale, and all of that information, each one has a different spreadsheet with the information that they have to collate and they have to like put in. And I have a massive, insane spreadsheet that picks up all the information, takes averages, creates. Eventually, each teacher gets 3 sheets on a doc that explains how they were evaluated, what scores they got, what their average is, and all the comments and everything gets fed into it. And it's like insane. There is a limit on well, there's no limit on the amount of documents that you can create. So wait, let's do something first before we go insane answering questions. Let me just share this with you guys. So if you want like a beautiful form of your own, let's just send you guys the link. Don't bother copying this. I'm going to make a bit.ly, which is a lot easier for everyone involved. And let's just make a new one. Okay. Let's try and make it customize your back half. This is an insane name. Let's call it Autocrat. Of course, if I spell it correctly, it's a lot better. Good. Autocrat, good. Let's see if it works. Yes, it works. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to throw it in the... Oh! It's uppercase A, just in case. Remember, bit.ly is case sensitive. So if you guys fill it out, you should get back by email. You should get back your certificates. So going back to what I was, where I was at, and I'm going insane because I am. What is it? I was going to answer a question that I saw. Okay, the limit of number of documents. Okay, Autocrat won't give you a limit as to how many documents you can make in a day. I've literally made thousands of documents in a day. Emailing, on the other hand, is different. If you have a normal personal Google account, you are limited is to, I think it's around 150 emails a day. And that is per recipient. It doesn't, so you can't cheat and like email 50 people at once. No, mentira, you can cheat, and it's per message, not per recipient, sorry. But then if you're doing personalization, per recipient doesn't really care. You can also like ask for several emails, and you can do CCs. So what I usually do with my students is I have a database where I know that this student, what their parents' addresses are. So I have a CC column, and I CC certificates and stuff for the parents also, so that the parents are nice and proud of kids. We just did it for, hey, there you go, Karen Jackson just submitted her wonderful, beautiful form, and we can see the certificate. Let's see, Karen. It hasn't appeared. Oh, well, it's being generated. Okay, so if you have a G Suite for Edu account or Enterprise, I think it's the same limit. Or if you're a trainer and you're using your beautiful trainer domain like me, your limit to sending emails is 1,500 a day. That's 1,500 emails a day that you can send. And it sounds like a lot, but in a school, 1,500 for me is sending emails to all the parents. And that's not bad. And that is more or less it. If you guys would like a copy of everything, then here, that bit.ly Autocrat Fund is a link to my folder where everything resides. So you get, literally, you get a copy of this folder. And everything that's here, you'll see it for yourself. And you can see how it works and how it's been working, which is always very, very nice. And that is about it. If you have any questions, I'm still looking at what you guys are writing. Yes, form publisher, the limit is 100 a day. And if you want more than 100 a day, then you'd have to buy credit or whatever it is from form publisher. The same, I think, Formule also has certain limits on the amount of stuff you can send out. The hard limit for email is, yes, it's 1,500 for G Suite accounts, and it's 150 for normal humans. I don't know if you guys have any other questions that I'll be glad to address. We have a little time left over. Anyone? Bueller?
Guys, go ahead and throw your questions
Yes,
in
come
the
on, I'm
chat.
here. I have to leave in a little while because my wife needs me because it's almost Father's Day, and I think I'm gonna be asked to cook today, but who knows? Please. Or this means I'm the awesomest presenter ever, and people just got everything perfectly. Okay, formulas. How do we know when and how to use them? Okay, so if you're doing like normal stuff, like normal forms or normal certificates, you don't really have to use many formulas. I did have to use quite a bit of formulas, mainly because I'm doing the whole integrating pictures, because when you integrate pictures, it's iffy. But if you're going to do like a normal certificate, all you need is the kid's name and maybe, I don't know, their age or their grade or whatever, as long as everything is clear right here, and you have to be very aware of everything that is like typing, all of that. If sometimes you can do like little weird sheet formulas to make sure that the case is correct, or you can force them to do like lowercase, or you can do them to do like proper case, but what they call that, every case is, but all that is like formatting. But if you do like a normal spreadsheet, you don't even have to have a form. This is just so it goes to forms for people, but it doesn't really have to be anything more complicated than this. I just got a certificate because apparently somebody filled it out in my name. I know I filled it out in my name. Okay, I'm being silly. Okay, and yes, and then here in the certificates, it always leaves you with a copy of what you were doing. So, like for example, this is Desiree's form, and I don't know if Desiree actually sent a picture or not, so we'll see. And there you go. Desiree sent us a picture with a logo. And all of this is done automatically. You don't really have to do much to do this. All you have to do is like a little planning ahead. But it's really nice. So yeah. I don't know what else you guys would like to see or do or whatever, but look, here's Tyler. Here's Tyler again. Here's Larry. They were caught being good. He was caught reading a book. That's so awesome of him. And Severus Snape was the one that signed it. So there you go. And it's really a lot of fun. It's really easy to use. I would recommend that you guys do go crazy and experiment with it. Playing with Autocrat is not as daunting as it seems. It's actually, I find it to be fun, sort of. But then again, I'm a person that likes to play with spreadsheets. So that depends on the people.
Luis, before we wrap up, do you have any kind of contact info? So if they have questions or anything like that they can get with you?
In my presentation, in here in this slide deck, in this deck, I think that's my Twitter handle, PERTUZLUISFER. If not, up here in my in the chat, I'm going to put my email address, which is Luis@Pertuz, which is my last name, .co, and that's about it. You can also find me and many other wonderful educators in Global GEG, which is my innovator project, along with other people, like for example Bonnie, who's in there somewhere, and that's globalgg.org, which is insanely filled with all sorts of information, webinars, seminars, all sorts of resources that you can find there. Everything is there for free, and we keep on feeding it. We're currently doing a level 1 boot camp, and it's been 2 days already of free. The next session for the boot camp is on next Friday, and this Monday we're having like open office sessions. So if you want to drop in, have fun, look at the resources. If you want to participate in Global GEG, everybody's welcome, and that's about it. You're always welcome. If you write me on Twitter or by email, I will answer. It's just that it's the end of the school year, so please bear with me. So I might take a while for the next 2 weeks, but after that, I generally try to answer back everybody, and I usually try and get back to people. I love sharing with people. Ask Desiree, because we did this sort of stuff all the time in the academy, and honestly, we had a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoy cooperating and sharing with others.
All right. So guys, give love to Luis. Thank you so much. Put it in the chat because he will get a copy of this chat. So give him some mad love in the chat, and please fill out the evaluation, guys. That's all we ask of these free events, is to fill out the evaluation and give the presenter some feedback. So we all like to know what we're doing well, know where we can grow, all that good stuff. So please, please, please fill out the evaluation. And if you wanted to know when the video will go on YouTube, I always say it's going to be on there by Monday, but honestly, usually it's there today. But I do send out the link for the video if you registered, which all of you did, of course, and if you sign in, you also get a copy of the certificate, because I am not using Autocrat just yet. So sign in and you will get a copy of the certificate through email. But I learned a lot about Autocrat today. So thank you, Luis.
And if you need help, you know, I'm really glad to help you.
Awesome.